Can you just walk us through the final, I guess, the final two possessions and just what it took to really grit this one out?
I don't know. We kind of stole one there. Obviously, we're trying to get Asia the ball. Trying to get certain people off Asia. Although tonight it didn't matter who guarded her. She was just on a heater. So a lot of it was get the ball to her and get out of the way and let her go be her. Obviously, Jack's putback was ridiculous. We've been crashing the boards the whole time. And Jack was right on time with that one.
In some ways, did it feel a little bit kind of like deja vu on the sideline to watch it come down to a late game situation like that, but then watch your team kind of turn the result around?
I mean, I told them we can enjoy this win for tonight, but then tomorrow we got to get back to business and we got to be better. I thought their physicality bothered us. I thought offensively we got very stagnant. But it's the playoff. I mean, everybody's going to be fully scouted. Like, you have to play basketball and you have to make basketball plays down the stretch. It's about reading at this point because everybody knows the coverages. Everybody knows the next action for the team. So we gotta. I'm gonna take a look at it. Obviously, see some areas where we can improve. But I mean, we kind of can't dwell on it too long. We got to move right on to Indiana, is what they're telling me.
You actually just referenced it twice. It is Indiana. Dropped 2 of the 3 games to them this year, but you haven't seen them since late July. What excites you about that matchup?
That they haven't seen the releases yet. They caught us when we were at a bit in turmoil. Not only that, they whooped us one of those stretches. So, you know what? We'll buckle in, hone in where we can, and take care of business. But I know everybody's super excited about tonight, which I am too. But like, I gotta get our hard hats on and get these guys prepped and ready for what's coming next.
That being said, Beck, as the final days of the regular season came down to it, those final 3 slots, didn't know who you were going to face. Arguably, you could say Seattle was going to be the toughest draw no matter what. What made them so tough, if you can just summarize this series?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of swapped all the last day of the season. Everybody kind of swapped positions. Look, Seattle beat Minnesota twice. That's a very good team. They defend really well. They're long. They have a former MVP over there. They have Olympians over there. That's a very good team. So we knew it was going to be a dogfight. You know, I thought maybe they might give Minnesota even a run, you know, because they actually split with them during the regular season. That's like I said, it's a very good team. And it's a team that, like, we've met so many times in the postseason. And every year they get tougher and tougher to beat.
Pre-game, you said that the win streak was nice, but it's out of the way. The loss is out of the way. It was kind of good to get that and move on. Even tonight, the way you won, how did your team, I know it's just over, but mature from this series to battle test you for the next one?
You know, it's a group I trust down the stretch. To me, you know, the game in Seattle where we let that lead slip away, I'm not used to seeing that from this group. That actually surprised me. Us closing doesn't surprise me. This is a group that historically closes very well. They execute very well down the stretch. You know, funny, I mean, we win that game in the second quarter when we hold them to 7. That's how we won the game. Was the defensive end. 73 is our magic number. We're 11-1 now 12-1 when we hold teams to 73 or less. So that's always the goal. Wasn't great in the third, wasn't great in the fourth. We really struggled to get threes up, so I got to take a look at that. But, I mean, at one point, the play calling didn't matter. Asia Wilson just took over the game. Didn't matter.
Coach, if I could ask you to elaborate a little more on that, tonight was tied her career playoff high with 38 points. Do you see her, as much as we see her in this incredibly high gear, go into an even higher gear in moments like this? And then if you could also just elaborate on Jackie Young's ability to be in the right place at the right time so much in her career.
Yeah, Jackie is a basketball player. She knows how to make plays. She knows how to move without the ball. She knows how to make things happen when it's not necessarily for her. Now we've put her with the ball frequently this year, and she's proved to deliver. But you can really put her anywhere, and she figures out ways to impact the game. But Asia, like, you're not her gears and her calm under pressure is next level. And I think that's an elite skill set. Not only is it a skill set because she's been there in so many big moments, but it's also just her God-given nature to be calm in those moments and composed and know that she can deliver whenever she has to deliver.
Anyone else in the room before we hop to Zoom?
All right, we'll go Nancy Armour on Zoom. Nancy?
Hey, Becky. Only one of the series, the 4 series, did not go to a game 3. And the ones that have, most of the games in game 2 and game 3 have been really, really close. And I'm just wondering, do you think it's time for the W to go to a best of 5 or even best of 7 for the first and second round of the playoffs?
I think you go best of 5 if you're not going to go back to the old format. The 2-1 format. I look at that Phoenix and New York travel situation. That's brutal for both the teams. To fly across the country like that for one game, one in, out, that's exhausting. So they ought to take a look at that. This setup, I prefer, a 5-game series.
Thanks, Nancy. Last one on Zoom, we'll go to Percy. Percy?
Hey, Coach, just how surprised were you that throughout this series, the Storm defended Asia with a one-on-one coverage and didn't throw sort of the junk defenses at her or anything like that, but just sort of decided to just play her straight up? And I'm sure you've seen a lot of defensive coverages for Asia, but were you surprised at that tactic?
I mean, I wasn't surprised because they haven't been doing that. She would have rung up 26, 27 the other night. She just happened to miss some free throws. I forget what she had game 1, like 28 or something. Anybody know what she had game 1? You can't cover her one-on-one. And they played her one-on-one, and that's one answer to why we couldn't get up threes, because they stayed locked up to our shooters. They stayed very connected to Jewel. But then, you let A go one-on-one. That's tough.
All right, thank you, Coach.